listen up. Y'all, it's the queen of automation, Meghan Donnelly, here to give you inspiration. Founders and business owners gather round. I'ma show you how to build systems that'll astound. Streamline your processes, no need for complication.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast. I'm your host, Meghan Donnelly, and we talk about all things systems, technology, operations, focus, time management, and all of these things are only good when they work. And hopefully, through all of my awesome conversations with people like Steven Puri, we help you make them work. The whole goal is to talk to people like Steven, who is someone who specializes in helping you get time back, helping you manage your day, be more productive. And yeah, I'm going to let him introduce himself, though, because I'm sure he's going to do a much better job than I am. He's got a really cool hit I can't wait to get into. DreamWorks. I mean, who doesn't want to work for DreamWorks or like Pixar? But DreamWorks is really cool also. I'm very excited.
Cool. Yeah,
mean, those are like those are the things you dream of, right? Like as a kid. So tell us all about it. Tell us where you're calling from, and then dive into it's the Sucre Company, right? So that right,
yes.
The Sucre, because he is doing some very cool things at the Sucre Company, and I can't wait to tell him.
Okay. Number one, thank you for having me. Number two, for everyone playing along at home or in their cars or at the gym, wherever they are, thank you for listening. And here's the reason to listen to this episode as opposed to some of the other amazing episodes that Meghan's done, right? So if this interests you, stay with us, which is I'm one of the few people you'll meet, possibly the only one, that's been a senior executive at a couple motion picture studios, making mainly summer action movies, and also have raised over $20 million of venture and run 3 tech companies, 1 successful exit and 2 failures. Let's be super open about that, right? There are some things that along the way I've seen about how high performers perform at that level in a sustainable way. They're more in control of their life. They don't burn out. And that is what Meghan was alluding to, what I do with the Sucre Company, which is help people get into flow states. It's a simple website, and it allows you to basically get in control of your day and do great work. So really happy to be here and hope we can share some fun stories, including stories about DreamWorks, which I know Meghan wants to talk about.
I really do. I think it's one of those things where it's like, you hear names like DreamWorks and Pixar and like all these things. Mm-hmm. And you immediately think, oh, cool, fun company. I mean, I will piggyback your DreamWorks story because I'm sure it's not all like sunshine and roses like you think it is from the outside. But you never know. It could be.
Well, I will say this, and I know we're going to talk a lot about automation and efficiency and getting control of your day, but I'll tell you something about DreamWorks, which is as many bad movies as there are, and there are, plenty. It is very rare that someone actually sets out to make a bad movie. It's just super hard. It requires a lot of craft, and let's be honest, a lot of lightning strike kind of luck, where it's like, oh, the right cast was available on the right thing, and the edit worked out great, and the music. So there are a lot of pieces. DreamWorks is the only studio still run by a creative, owned by a creative largely. And that does infuse everything. It's in the water cooler. There was definitely a sense when I was at DreamWorks, which is, hey man, go home tonight and try and make your project 1% better. As opposed to other places where I've worked, shall remain nameless, Fox, where it's more in a sense of like, hey, go home tonight and make 1% cheaper. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would never allow my kid to go work for News Corp, ever. That was a terrible experience, right? I would counsel my worst enemy, don't go.
So good. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So I love DreamWorks, and it was a great period of time. And there are hits, there are bombs, it's just hard to make a great movie, but Steve and Stacy were great stewards of the company I was there, creatively passionate. I remember the first time I was in Steven's private conference room, like off his office in the Adobe, Southwestern kind of like Amblin compound. And I had worked really hard to, get to that point in my career. And regardless, the first time I sat there, I had that sort of pinch me moment of like, oh my God, like Steven is 2 people to my left, like Stacy, the chairperson of the studios across from me, the president of the studios right here, the writers are brought in here, and we're having a story meeting with Steven Spielberg on an alien movie. Like, what? How did this happen? Right? I was just like amazing.
Yeah.
And you do that repeatedly for a while, and you're kind of like, oh, it's Steven again. But I remember that first time where I was like, wow, I have to remember that I'm very lucky in this lifetime to, luck plus a lot of hard work to be sitting here and I have an opinion.
Did you have I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on. But did you have the fanboy moment? Okay, so one of my favorite creators on LinkedIn, and I don't want to call her because I do agree with her, but I'm still no, I'm still going to do it. I had a fangirl moment when I talked to Elena Sparrow a few weeks ago. I totally just freaked out. I love her. I love her branding. I love everything about her, right? And she's about 10 years older than me. So I'm I always tell people, I always joke, I'm I want to be her when I grow up. I want to be her when I grow up. And I just had this totally annoying, probably fangirl moment. And then one of my other favorite creators was you shouldn't do that. Just treat them like normal people and just whatever. And I was
yeah.
Screw that. I want to tell them how cool they are. I want to shake their hand 1,000,000 times. And yeah, it might be a little weird at first. And I'll get over it. But no, have my moment where I get to be super
Megan, I will give you an honest answer, which is I never met anyone in my film career where I had that fan moment, because I realized that it is show business. It is a business. You meet people who may have artistic bents, but at $150 million a piece of art, it's not art for art's sake. It is a commercial business, right? So you meet a lot of people. It's just this piece of talent is grooming themselves to be the next Brad Pitt. This director is grooming himself to be the next David Fincher. This, you know what I mean? So you know that, and they're talented and interesting. If I had a fangirl moment, it would absolutely be around Gandhi. The idea you could change the course of an entire nation by preaching nonviolence.
Yep.
Hey, let us rid ourselves of the British and freed 1 billion people by telling them don't fight. Find another example in human history of that. That to me is wow.
Yep. Or anybody that's even on that level, that anyone who can impact a large amount of people in the way that they do, in the way of man, like Martin Luther King, some of these people.
Exactly. Oh, that's a great example. That to me, that would be it is an honor to meet you. I'm struck. I'm kind of tongue-tied in that conversation. Talking to, Diane Kruger or Brad Pitt or, Steven, it's okay, they're people who are making movies. It's cool. It's great. That's your profession. It's a great woodworker. You're the most amazing woodworker ever. But man, you changed the course of history through preaching nonviolence.
Pretty amazing.
That's astounding to me.
There's nothing like it when you meet those types of people. You're never going to be able to meet that person again. It's one of those once in a lifetime moments when you meet them. I want to know how you got from the DreamWorks, Sony's, Fox's, all those of the world.
You've done your research, yeah.
Where you are now. Yeah, let's do the transition story, because then we're going to get into the really geeky good stuff that I love, because I know that you are using some sort of automation and or AI or something to actually.
Okay, then let me do this. Let's get through this part, which is talk about Steven, which is going to be boring for many, but I'm going to put it out there. Okay, so here's the fun part of the backstory. Mom and Dad met because they were both engineers at IBM. So I am the son of 2 engineers. You know what? Your parents are both Olympic ice skaters. You probably learned how to ice skate when you were a kid, right? I learned how to code. Mom was a software engineer, right? And so that skill was very helpful for me, because when I went to the University of Southern California, to USC in Los Angeles, it was not necessarily to pursue a degree in coding, but it was something I knew how to do. And I was a Watson scholar. So I had a job at IBM whenever I wanted as a junior software engineer to make cash for school, right? So there I am in LA pursuing a business degree in journalism, stuff like that. A lot of my friends are in the cinema TV school, and SC has arguably the best cinema TV school in the world. I was in Los Angeles when film went digital. Guess what? Who could speak? Yeah, I got very lucky in that moment when suddenly, Pro Tools was doing audio and Avid was doing nonlinear editing, and Silicon Graphics made computers powerful enough to manipulate digital images. And you had Cameron and all these guys making amazing digital films, right? So I was in that very small subset of people who could speak to an engineer, because I was one, and could speak to a creative because my friends and some of my training was around being creative. So my career took off like a rocket ship. And I ended up doing the digital effects for about 14 movies, including titles and stuff like that. True Lies and Seven and Carlito's Way and a bunch of stuff, including I produced the digital effects for Independence Day. We won the Academy Award for the visual effects in that movie. Let's be honest, it helps your career when you work on a film that wins an Academy Award, right?
And it takes feel too bad either, right? Like,
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to take credit for that. I want to say I was part of a team that did something remarkable, and I'm very honored to have been part of that. But Roland and Dean and I, the director, producer, writer, and I got along really well on Independence Day. And the end of that is we started a company called Centropolis Effects to do digital effects together. I raised about $15 million for that company. 4 years later, we got a buyout offer from Das Werk, a big German media conglomerate. And it was like a 6x return for us and our investors. I was 28. I was like, as one thinks in their 20s that you're smarter and better looking and funnier than you are, right? In reality, you're lucky, but sold the company. So suddenly I'm 28 and I have cash in my pocket from the sale. I feel pretty, validated that I built a company that sold. And I thought, what did I want to do? And I thought, you know what I want to do? I've been making the digital parts of people's movies. So I'm on a first name basis with Mel Gibson. We did Braveheart and Immortal Beloved together. Jim Cameron, like a bunch of people that I'd worked on their movies as a craftsman, essentially. And I was like, how can I become someone who makes a movie? So I got on the ladder and started working my way up to be a studio executive. And that is, ended up as, executive vice president at DreamWorks for Alex Kurtzman and Bob Orsi, vice president at 20th Century Fox, where I ran like the Die Hard Wolverine franchises, things like that. Definitely had a moment at News Corp where I was like, these movies are not very good and there's not a desire to make them very good, rather than make them cheaply and cost effectively. And it's a business, they profit by keeping costs down. And I was like, well, I don't want to wake up, be 40, 50, 60 years old, making Die Hard 9 to pay for the kids' college or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an inspiring way to live.
Because it's the holidays. Hang on, wait. Die Hard?
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No. Yes or no? Come on.
Okay. Do you want a good answer or a short answer? Which do you want?
A good answer.
Okay,
this
the
is
good
important
answer is this.
stuff because my husband is like, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm like, it is not. Just because it happens at Christmas time doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie. And I was like,
so here
right,
comes an answer, and this is off topic, but I'm going to give it to you. You can cut this out later if you don't want it. Okay.
I want
so
it.
Here's
it's
the
off
deal.
topic. It's okay because I'm gonna trust me. This is what I'm really good at. I'm gonna tie all of this.
Bring it all together.
Back. Yep, tie it back to ops and automation.
Okay.
You watch.
So
but okay, give me the
here's
Die
your
Hard.
answer. Buckle your seatbelt.
I'm buckling.
Most of the big movies you see, if you strip out the genre element, and by genre element I mean if you took the story and you removed the photon torpedoes or the ghost or the laser bomb from space or whatever the hell it is, right?
Right.
And you're left with a tiny independent film, it will usually be a film about a family. Like when we did Star Trek 11, the reboot with Chris and Zach, as Kirk and Spock, that's simply Cain and Abel. That's all that movie is. Chris and Zach are going to kill each other and they lose the movie.
So what is the basis of Die Hard then? It is a Christmas movie, isn't it? You're going to tell me it is.
Think about this. The beginning of the movie.
Better not be.
No, it's not Home Alone. It's not Home. Let me finish, Megan. Let me finish because you'll, I think, appreciate this. Which is, if you think about the bones of that movie, they are spelled out in the limo. If you remember, he gets to L.A., gets in the limo with Argyle. Remember, the limo driver's like, "Hey, man, it's my first day. I'm just, new." And they deliberately, when they're driving away, put Bruce in the front seat with the driver to emphasize he's really like this blue collar guy. He sees himself as a worker, and he puts the teddy bear in the back of the limo, right? Because he's like, I don't belong there. I belong here. I'm a run, shoot, jump on the street cop, right? So I should be up here with the driver, right? And the Argyle bugs him. He's like, hey, man, it's my first day in the job. What are you here for? Tell me something. And Bruce, of course, in his John McClane way, is like, screw around. Just forget it. Leave me alone, right? The third time, he finally turns to Argyle and goes, well, this is what's up. And Argyle says back to him, the movie, in basically like 1 or 2 sentences, he goes, okay, let me get this straight. So your wife left you for these rich guys and you came here like a caveman to throw her over your shoulder and take her back. And Bruce looks at him and kind of smiles. He goes, yeah, kind of that, right? What is the end of the movie, Meghan? He carries Bonnie Bedelia out of a burning building with her over his shoulder like a caveman, and he has saved her by being a blue-collar cop.
Yeah.
What time of year do you deal with families coming together? Christmas.
You win.
It is the perfect time to set that movie.
I'm going to have to play this episode because, my husband's obviously very annoyed with my pod. Not annoyed, but he's like, I don't care. Because he listens to all the episodes.
Don't play this episode for him. This will be our secret.
This one, I'm going to be like, fine, you win. Here you go. The executive told me, here you go.
This episode will be your and my secret and 1 million listeners' secret. Your husband will never know.
Right. Well, just don't tell him. Okay. So here is the roundabout way of me getting all the way back, right? So all the way back.
I'm ready. Here we go.
AI, the operations. Now, being a programmer, an engineer, knowing how to code, doing all of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, whether you work for someone else, DreamWorks, all of the things, whether you work for somebody else, or you work for yourself as your own company, Sucre Company, you have to be able to manage your day. You have to be able to focus. I don't care what anybody says. And if you're actually believing all the crap that's out there on TikTok and Instagram and even LinkedIn and Facebook and all of the places, business is easy. You just have to do this. Oh, shut up. No, it's not actually like that. It's not like you could just, here's the blueprint. And this blueprint is going to make you $1 million in 3 months. Here you go. Bite me. Like, that's what I want to say to some of these people. Come on. It actually takes work. It actually takes dedication. It actually takes responsible time management. Nobody got to be the executive vice president of DreamWorks without being able to manage their time and be productive with their time management and how they get through their day. Insert the Sucre Company, and I am basically assuming, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, that this is what you're helping people do. You want to get to somewhere in your life, whether it's life or business or I don't care because it's all one life. We were going to talk about this. There's no work-life balance, guys. Sorry. You have one life. You can't separate it. Unless you have figured out how to clone yourself, and if you've done that, could you please send me the code, whatever you've got.
Send me the stock ticker because I want to invest.
Exactly. Like we Steven and I want to invest in the cloning process. You can get pretty close with AI, but come on, let's be real. You're still not a clone. Like, it's not working. So work-life balance is not a thing. It's like a work-life integration. Sure, we can call it integration. I would love to hear your take on that because you can't separate your personal life and your business life. You can't do it. You physically can't. And if somebody's telling you they can, I want to invest in that also. Like, what voodoo magic's going on?
So let me pick the talking stick back up.
Yeah.
Let me jump in here because there's some thoughts I want to share. Number one thought. It is an amazing world we live in where the most highly valued company in the stock markets, they are all about stealing your life. Their business model is steal your life, period, full stop, right? 10 years ago, they were embarrassed about it. Zuckerberg would testify in Congress and he'd do the aw shucks like, we're just here to show videos to grandmother about your grandkids, right? That is over. You listen to their earnings calls and they're like, here's the deal. We're deploying these techniques to steal this much time of everyone's lives. Is shareholder value. That's what we call it. Your life we're stealing is called shareholder value to me. And by the way, next quarter, we're going to deploy these new techniques to steal more, to increase our shareholder value, period. So you and I and everyone listening here is working in a world where the best paycheck, if you're an engineer, designer, behavior psychologist, is to work for $1 trillion company, laser focused on, I want Meghan and Steven to wake up 80 years old on their sofa, scrolling and double tapping, and they've done nothing with their lives, nothing. And you and I end up the ones on the sofa saying, oh yeah, I could have written that book. I had that idea for a company. I was going to make that app. Oh, I wanted to open that restaurant, but I never got to it, scrolling and
Yep.
double tapping. And it's miserable both to be that person and it's miserable to be around that person. But that is what Mark and Elon and Evan and these guys want because that's shareholder value for them, right? So that is what you're up against. You're up against a world where the smartest people are employing the smartest techniques to make sure your life sucks. It's as if Zuckerberg called you up. It's like, hey, Meghan, can I have your life? Can I have your life? I'm going to sell it to these advertisers and I'll keep the money. But I'm going to give you some dancing cat videos. Cool. How about that? Is that a good trade for your life?
I would love to hear your take on this. So one of the things that I tell people all the time, because you hear it you hear it out there, sitting in front of Netflix, it's just a waste of time. And it is, except, so here's how I look at it. Because someone like myself and people who have listened to my podcast,
there's no one like yourself, but go on.
Right. This ADHD brain of mine that's going 10 million miles an hour. Do you want to know how I know exactly what he's saying is 100% true? Because do you want to know what I use social media and Netflix for? It's because one, I'm one of the 2% of the population in this world that can function on less than 4 hours of sleep. Generally, I get about 3.
Good God. Wow. How do you do that?
I don't know. They've tried everything. That's another story. I'll tell you that. They've tried everything. All the medication, all the stuff. I've been to a sleep clinic. It doesn't matter. So, whatever. So, what I used to do, ergo in my knees, I would be like, okay, well, I can't sleep anyway. So, I'd get up. And what would I do? I'd get on my laptop and I would start to work. And I would literally working 18 hours a day because I wasn't tired. Well, that had to stop. So then my body wasn't resting, even if I wasn't sleeping. So then I started looking up and reading about different techniques of okay, I have to turn my brain off because my brain moves 1,000,000 miles an hour. So I have to find ways to just even if I'm not going to sleep, to just tried exercising. I did the whole, in my late 20s, I was a super workout person and did all that. Well, that just sucked. That was awful. I'm not one of those that's going to be yay, fitness. Oh my God. That was awful. No thanks. The gym was bleh. No. Anyway, so I figured out that, what I do is I go into bed at between 9 and 10 o'clock. Okay. And it's a set time every night.
Yep. I got you.
And all the lights are off. I lay there, and I watch TV. And I just lay there and I watch really stupid. I do not watch anything educational. I know that sounds weird, but I just I just zone out and almost zombie zone out. And I've realized that it's my body is resting because I'm not actually learning anything. My brain's not really learning anything from these stupid cheesy movies that I'm watching. The Big Bang Theory sitcoms. I'm just laughing. My body's relaxed because I always try to do comedies, so I'm just laughing and having a good time. And I literally just lay there in the dark and eventually I fall asleep. And it's super weird and it's totally different and it's 100% opposite from what every professional out there tells you to do. But you know what? It works for me. So guess what? I'm going to keep doing it because that's what I need.
That level of self-awareness I have great respect for. Let me share with you, just to introduce this idea of being in control of your life. Let me tell you the story, which is how we named our company.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good.
Because I think names and words they're just packed with history and meaning, right?
The most important thing in everything you do, words, communication.
Exactly. So here's the deal. This idea, which I know many people right now are into flow states. It's in the zeitgeist. People are oh my God, I can work faster and actually feel uplifted rather than depleted. How do I do this? And you can do it. It's repeatable and it's awesome. We'll talk about that, right? But here's the deal. So as we were developing this website where we simply said, hey man, if there are a bunch of things you can do to help you get into flow state and stay there, instead of having to run 7 different apps, what if you just had one with a big play button? You just open this website, play button. That's what Sucre is. Play button, music starts, distractions are blocked. You can be in flow, get your work done earlier, right? Okay, so here's the deal. We had a working version of this with a working title. Beta members giving us feedback, right? Laura, wifey, mother of my 5-week-old downstairs, right? So she and I met in yoga. He's adorable. I know. I'm so in love. As soon as we're done, I'm down there. I'm like, poof, gone. So she and I were going on our honeymoon a couple years ago. And, when you do a bunch of yoga, we have a daily yoga practice. Bali is a beautiful place to go for your honeymoon, right? You do yoga on the beach, hang out together, super chill. So we're going there and I'm talking to her. I was like, what's really frustrating me is Amazon is a really cool word for what they do. It's a strong word, but it doesn't really mean bookstore, right? Nike is a powerful word. It doesn't really mean like shoe place, It's like,
Yeah,
I keep coming up with bad names for what we're doing, like flow state app, distraction blocker, like I hope I come up with a great name that's meaningful. And Laura said, you know what? Maybe the universe will speak to you because for the next couple of weeks, no one from your office is going to bug you. They know we're on our honeymoon. They're going to leave you alone. And maybe that gives you the quiet for like the muses to sing. I'm like, thanks. Yeah. So we got there and I said, you know what? This may be a little kooky, but I think what would seed my imagination is, do you mind if I do a couple quick Zooms, just 2 or 3 with current beta members and ask them, what's your favorite thing about what we're doing? And maybe that inspires me to like the name. And she was like, I'm going to the pool, but I will see you at dinner. Good luck with your Zooms, right? So she's like, goodbye, my friend. Yeah. So I put in the group chat. I was like, hey, who's a couple minutes to chat?
Hopefully there's a hot tropical guy with a shirt off that's going to bring me fruity drinks. See you later.
Oh my God. I think she actually was reading a book at the time, but who knows? Maybe they have a hot. It could have a hot guy in the book. Don't know. So anyway, there were 3 people who raised their hand and said, I'll chat with you. And I asked them the same question. It's just like, hey, can you tell me what's your favorite feature? We have 1,000 hours of original flow music. We have that distraction blocker that keeps you out of bad websites, the phone blocker. There's a smart assistant that helps you break your task down. What is it, right? Third guy, I was going into the wrap up and I try and be very respectful of people's time. I was like, hey, it's 8 minutes in. I promised, 10 minutes. So I want to say thank you and, let you go. And he stops me and he goes, Steven, you asked the wrong questions. And I was like, hey, guy, I don't know that well. Okay. Like, I'll take the bait.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. What was the right question? What should I ask? He said, you should have asked me why I pay you. And I was like, we charge like $10 a month. Like, I don't collect a paycheck. Tony and I do this for free so that more people can do something with their lives, right? Luckily, I'm at a place in my life where I can do that. And I was like, we don't charge a lot, but okay, I'll take the bait. So why do you pay me? And he said, the past year, I found I have 2 kinds of days. At 3:00, I'm playing with my kids. They're currently 2 and 4. Or at 6:00, I'm down on myself. Where did the day go? I was busy all day. I'll have to get up early tomorrow to finish today's work before tomorrow. Da, da, da. And I realized the difference is, did I hit play on your website that morning before I started work? So I pay you because my kids are not going to be 2 and 4 forever. And I was like, okay, you won that round. That was a way better answer. Yeah, than what I was asking. Like, thank you. So I go to dinner. Exactly. So I go to dinner with Laura. I was like, I spoke to this dude who's more articulate about what I'm doing than I am. And I told her this. She's like, that's really good. And we're going to bed in our little, honeymoon or spa robes the first night, brushing our little teeth, thinking we're all cute. And she looks at me with her mouth full of toothbrush paste, whatever. And she goes, you wanted the universe to speak to you. It did through that guy. We're in yoga. And we hear all these terms, these Sanskrit words for like your karma and your dharma and your prana, your life force. He described to you sukha, that feeling of happiness when you're in control. You're doing something you're so good at, you can do it with ease. That's the name of your company, the Sucre Company, because you ultimately want to listen to what he's saying. It's not about working fast or working more. It is about being in control so we can feel happy and say at 3:00, I'm part of my kids' lives.
Yep. It's about
that is why I'm here. That is why we do what we do, is what that guy said better than I said it myself. And awesome. I bought my $14, by the way, from that hotel room in Bali. I bought that website.
I mean, of course. Why wouldn't you? When you have moments like that, it's like you just have to stop everything that you're doing. And thank God for our partners, right? Like the people in our lives that get the because like I do it like I'm like walking in like we're in Costco and we're shopping and I'm like ooh, and I like point to some random like towel rack, it's just some stupid thing that I see, and I'm like, buy that. And I go on my phone and I buy, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, shh, I'm buying a domain name. And he's like, what? Got an idea. And he's like, from the towel rack or like whatever random thing I'm looking at. He's like, whatever.
When inspiration strikes.
The car just keeps walking away, and I'm like, well, you know.
I know.
Thank God for those people in our lives that put up with the crazy. So I have to tell
And
everybody.
we have, like, to go back to your theme, though, that we have that work-life balance to be in their lives and have them in ours, as opposed to be like the missing parent, the absent husband or wife who's always like, if you're in control of your day and you're doing great work, and then you can also be present, like, what an amazing thing.
Here's what I love about everything that you just said. The whole story.
This is going to be good. I can't wait to hear this part.
Here's what I love about everything that you just said. So, I mean, I use Spotify, and I just put on, I have tracks of just, there's no words, because words
Right.
with the ADHD,
They pull you out. They pull you out of focus.
Then you focus on words, and instead of focusing on, but I always have music. This is the only time part of my day during my podcast is when I don't have music. I tried it, having like low level music.
Hum a little.
That did not work. So, but the whole, like, everything that you just said, there's nothing that you just said that doesn't, like, that you're not telling people what to focus on. You're not telling people how to do it. You are saying, this is giving you the ability to be you, do what you need to do to live your life to the best of your ability, or to build the life that you want, whatever you want.
That is exactly it.
That is whatever you want. And I tell this people all the time, because I even tell people, don't listen to me. Like, this is just what works for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You have to figure out for yourself what you want, what you need to do every day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell everybody, hang on.
Hold on. You go.
Moment. I know. You just gave me my aha moments. I'm telling you.
See,
Steven had a goal. He asked me what made the best interviews. And I said, when somebody can like stop my brain from moving so quickly and makes me step back and think. I am totally using that question when I do demo calls for our CRM. So, right, it's a CRM, it's a platform tool, blah, blah, blah. We don't actually talk about features. We talk about giving you time back.
Right.
I'm going to ask people, what would make you pay me?
Yeah. It's a great thing. Well, let me pick up on something you said a moment ago, though, which is you are right. It is not about the tool. It's not about telling someone what to do, but it rather comes from a fundamental or foundational belief, which is you have to believe everyone has something great inside them. And the question of this lifetime is, will they get it out?
Yep.
So somewhere inside you, there is the next great American novel, or there is a great app, or there's a restaurant idea, or there is something that you are going to do that is like an expression of your greatness. And if you're a leader, I hope that you define your role not as like a manager who makes sure the TPS reports are in Friday at 10. That's management. That's BS. A leader goes, I see the greatness in you, and my job is to help you get it out. Do not die with that inside you. That is how we view Sucre. Sucre is a tool to help you get out the great thing that only you know how to do.
Yep. And a great leader, I look at somebody like Steve Jobs, who was just a jerk. I mean,
yeah.
He wasn't great, but you want to know why he was a great leader of his team and of his people, and why people continued to work for him? Because maybe like he wasn't personally all that personable. He made them believe in what he was selling. He made them believe in Apple. He sold the dream. That's what leaders need to do. Something that's passionate, and you're selling the dream. Like, you want to make your life better. That's what this is going to do. That's going to make follow you.
I completely agree with you.
Why I'm probably one of, and I don't care, because we're still growing and we're going to figure it out. I'm not a good SaaS salesperson, right? Like, we sell software as a service. But you know what? You could go and do a Google search and find 10,000 hits for CRMs all over the place. I'm not selling you a CRM. I'm selling you time.
That's it.
You want time back?
End of episode. That's it. Period.
At least 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's not software. You can get these features anywhere. You can hire a developer to build you the features. I don't care. That's not the point. The point is, if you want to work with a team of people that actually want to give you your time back and use tools like Steven's building, and plus, empower, connect them with tools like we're using, like our software. The whole point of getting you to build a lifestyle that you love and enjoy. That's it. It's not about your business. It's not about growing your career. It's about building a lifestyle that at the end of the day, you enjoy and you are proud of, and you are happy, and you have dopamine, and all of the things the stars are aligned. And now we're getting fluffy. Stars are aligned, right?
Well,
all the wellness.
Mic drop. We are done for today. There we go. That is our inspiring message for today.
We just solved world peace. Here we go. Bam. No, but this is why I absolutely couldn't wait to talk to you, because even though we didn't sit here and specifically say, oh, how do you automate? How do you do all these things? Like, tell me about the back end.
Yeah.
Tell me about the back end of your system and your software. No, that's not the freaking point. And that's what I keep trying to tell everybody. You don't need to know how his system is built and how his operations are run. He's obviously built something that makes him happy, and he's passionate, and now he's choosing to help other people be passionate and make them happy. Right?
There you go. That's pretty much it, man.
Behind operations. If you do everything that we talked about and you listen to these stories, if you go into, so for all the people, I'm going to get really real here, and people, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to hate what I'm going to say right now, but that's fine. If you go into the AI world, like you're a newbie and you're going into AI, if you go into AI, the world of AI, hating it because it took your job, or you think it's going to take your job, or you're scared of it, or you're whatever, you will fail. If you go into AI with the mindset of, this is a tool to help make my life better, this is a tool to help me grow faster, this is a tool to help me save time, this is a tool. It is a tool. It is not a replacement for you. You will do amazing things with it, and you will learn much faster, and you will learn how to use it as a tool that will aid in whatever the frick you're doing right now. Whatever you are working on right now today, use the tool, treat it like a tool, talk to it like a robot, and actually don't do that. Talk to it like a human. You'll get much better results.
Yeah.
Claude swears at me. Did I tell you? I built this, because I have this custom, it's really called, it's just Meghan, and it's my Claude and my ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT won't swear at you. Claude swears at you. Claude swears at me. He's like, fucking pay attention. I'm like,
for good, right?
For good reason. I told it to. That's why. Because I was like, if I'm not paying attention or listening, and I'm going, you need to tell me what the anyway. But I'm serious. I'm serious. All of you listening, you need to just, if you missed it, go back and play the episode from the beginning, because everything that we're talking about, you did not hear us once in this episode, except for right now when I just brought up AI. It has nothing to do with technology. It has nothing to do with AI. It has to do with figuring out how to build the life that you love. If you hate technology, then don't use it.
Yeah.
You can use paper. I don't care. I don't care if you use paper. Like, you want to build your business on paper? Awesome. Go for it. Like, who are Steven and I to tell you need to use technology?
That's exactly right.
That is exactly right. Watch Netflix. Plus play on Steven.
Watch Netflix on paper.
Play on Steven. Yeah. Plus press play on Sucre and watch Netflix. I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's not what it's for.
And Sucre will tell you. Sucre's like, you're wasting your time right now.
Yeah, right. Like, Sucre will be like, you are not using this wisely.
This was a super fun episode. Thank you for having me. I didn't know where this was going to go, but man, it's like a roller coaster.
Welcome to my world, Steven. Welcome to my world. And we are going to
thank you for having me in your world.
We are going to continue conversations for sure. But everybody who's listening, TLDR, DreamWorks, listen to the DreamWorks story. It's awesome. Please go check out Sucre, because it's very, very cool. I already have lots of ideas zooming around in my head. You have lots of ideas, period. How I'm going to work together with Steven. We're gonna collaborate on some awesomeness, and maybe I'll tell you guys about it. Maybe I won't. Just kidding, of course.
Either way, that'd be awesome.
Yes. Enjoy the holidays, everybody. I think I have one more episode, but that's going to be the wrap-up end of the year. I think I might do a live episode, and we might have a few guests. Maybe Steven will come back on.
Maybe Steven will come back on if he's invited.
I'm thinking we do a fun live episode. We make it, big and bold and all of the things. But stay tuned for that. And remember, guys, technology, operations, system, work-life balance, whatever the hell you want to call it. All of these things are only good when they actually work. So your goal is to figure out a way to make them work and do you and be you. And that's it. Bye, everybody.
There you go. Thanks for having me.